وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام.
في موضوع الكلاس. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام.
The problem with Muslims is that we can't do things the first time. We always have to be reminded to do it the second time. If we did it the first time, it would be a lot better. So I'm happy to be here. Alhamdulillah, it's the first time I'm visiting Sheikh Zain in this mosque. He's been asking me for a while. I spent a bit of time in yemen-tarim with Sheikh Zain and also in the company of Sheikh Umar khatib. And when you spend time with people, you realise the value. And we've studied with lots of teachers, alhamdulillah. But Sheikh Umar, what I found with him is that his understanding of da'wah is absolutely precise. I remember the first time he came back from his first trip in Britain. He'd only been here 9 days, doesn't know any English, and he only went to a few places. But he basically summarised all of our problems in the UK in one gathering. We had one gathering with him, Western students, and he summarised all the problems we had. And I remember he gave us a story of how there was, I think it was in the middle of England, it might have been Bradford, and he was saying that he'd been speaking to some of the people there about the problems that we have in terms of disunity, that Muslims, unfortunately as a minority in this country, we're only a few percent, yet we can't seem to get along, which is quite unfortunate, because this ummah has a great responsibility, and not only are we supposed to be uniting ourselves, because we always talk about we're one ummah, part of the ummah is hurt, everybody feels it. So we talk about this all the time, and you probably hear khutbahs all the time about unity. That if you ask any person, if you ask a lay person who doesn't know anything, absolutely no knowledge of Islam, and you say, why are the Muslims in the state they're in? You say, because we're disunited, we need to unite. We have Ramadan, we have different days we start on, we have Eid, and if we can manage to get Eid on one day, we all celebrate. And MashaAllah, we all manage to do Eid in one day. But how many times have you seen in our city, in our country, in the UK, you have Eid in 3 days? So this doesn't really give a very positive image to non-Muslims when we're trying to speak to them. Because they say, what is Islam? They say, well, you're saying something, someone else is saying something else, someone else is saying something else. Going back to the story, he was saying that I think it was Bradford, he said that the council, the kind of representatives of the city wanted to meet the Muslims, the representatives of the Muslims, to discuss an important issue. And what happened was, they said, no. If we go and they're there, we're not coming. And the other group said, no, if they're coming, we're not coming. So this went on for a while. I mean, everyone's smiling because we know, relate to it. So when this was going on for a while, the council got fed up. They said, listen, we've got to get this issue decided. Either you come together or we're not going to have a meeting at all. Right? We're just going to ignore you. We're not even discuss it with you. So at that point, they all came together. So Sheikh Umar was commenting, he said, subhanallah, that the deen of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam could not bring these people together, but the government, or the British government, managed to do it. SubhanAllah, and it's something to really think about. And I remember when he said that, it really made me think. I thought, oh my God, it really is a tragedy that our deen, we can't get together. But when non-Muslims force us to, we can do it. For political things, we can do it. But for the sake of La ilaha illallah, we can't. And that's a sad thing, because if you think of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he spent all his time, day and night, what was he worrying about his ummah? He was thinking of his ummah constantly. And one of our teachers, Sheikh Umar, said that how can you, somebody says La ilaha illallah, has got such a weight, that person got such a weight and such a position with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because anyone who says La ilaha illallah, how can you harm him? If you love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you love what he loves, and he loves his ummah. So if you love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which we always say we do, then we should love his ummah because he loved his ummah. And then how can we hurt one another? How can we disagree with one another? Why can't we put our differences aside? So obviously it's a big problem, but it's something that we have to decide that how are you, me, everybody, every individual, how can we work towards this goal? So when it comes to small differences, small things we differ on, so what? We're always going to differ, Sahaba differ. But the most important thing is that we're brothers. Imam Shafi'i, there was somebody, I think his name was Yunus, and he disagreed with something. And the next day, he saw Imam Shafi'i, rahimahullah, and Imam Shafi'i saw him and said to him, is it not okay that we differ, yet we're still brothers? He said, it's not a problem that we differ, but the most important thing is that we can still get along, we can still love each other for the sake of Islam. And then Yunus said, I've never seen anyone who had more intellect, more understanding than Imam Shafi'i. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to bring our hearts together. So inshallah, I'm not going to stay any much longer because Sheikh Umar's come further than I have. So he deserves a lot more time. He's also our teacher, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Inshallah, we're going to start our speech, inshallah, Sheikh Umar khatib, on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, knowing him and understanding his way and being people who are prophetic in their way.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان ليوم الدين وعنا معهم وفيهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. أما بعد.
He began by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending a salawat on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the other previous prophets and messengers before him.
أستهل كلمتي هذه التي أحببت أن أتذكر وإياكم فيها كيفية التعرف إلى النبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ثم التعريف به.
And he said today's lecture in more detail will be how to know the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and getting to know him in detail.
وأدخل على هذا الحبيب صلى الله عليه وسلم من بوابة غريبة عرفت به.
And I will talk about him through ways or doors that are very strange in a way that we can know him sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
وجميع أهل علم الإدارة اليوم يقولون لا ينبغي أن تعرف نفسك للناس ولا تطلب أصحابك أن يعرفونك.
And the people now of management, they will say that don't ask or don't tell people who you are, or don't tell people or don't ask people to explain who you are.
فإنك إن عرفت بنفسك كنت تثني على نفسك وهذا مذموما.
Because if you tell people who you are praising yourself, and this is something that's sinful.
وإذا عرف بك أصحابك فليسوا محل ثقة عند الجميع.
And if your friends tell people about you, then they are not people who are trustworthy sources for everybody.
إذا فنحن نريد أن نتعرف على باب من أبواب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أو نتعرف على رسول الله من بوابة أخرى غير بوابة ذاته صلى الله عليه وسلم وغير بوابة أصحابه.
So we want to know something about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we will go through doors that are not the usual type of doors to know about him. So we won't go to know about who he is, nor will we go through the doors of what his companions have said about him sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
يروي لنا هذا التعريف البخاري رحمه الله بسنده المبارك إلى الإمام إلى الصحابي الجليل عبد الله بن عباس رضي الله عنه وأرضاه.
And Imam Bukhari, in his great loftiness, has narrated a hadith by Abdullah ibn Mubarak, Ibn Abbas, and the chain of transmission narrated by Imam Bukhari.
يقول ابن عباس حدثني أبو سفيان من فيه إلى فيه أي مشافهة من غير واسطة.
That Abu Sufyan told me directly, without any person in between.
يقول فيه أبو سفيان لما كانت المدة التي مادت فيها رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يعني المدة التي صالحه فيها عام الحديبية.
And he was talking about the truce the peace treaty between Abu Sufyan and the Prophet, that's known as Sulh al-Hudaybiyah.
خرجت في نفر مع أصحابي إلى بلاد الشام.
And he said, I went at that time to Sham with a group of my friends.
ولما كنا ببلاد الشام جاءت رسالة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى الشام إلى هرقل عظيم الروم، وكان يحملها الصحابي الجليل سيدنا دحية الكلبي.
And he said when he got to the blessed land of Sham, where Hercules, the leader or the emperor of that land used to be, a companion, Dihya, was already there, and he came to spread the message of Islam to this ruler.
دحية الكلبي دفع تلك الرسالة إلى عظيم بصرى، وعظيم بصرى دفعها إلى هرقل عظيم الروم.
And the letter he was carrying had been given to the leader of Busra, and he then gave it to Hercules of Rome.
وقبل أن يفتح عظيم الروم هرقل هذه الرسالة قال لمن حوله: هل من قوم هذا الرجل الذي يزعم أنه نبي أحد موجود ها هنا؟ فأجابوه نعم.
And before he began to open this letter, the leader, the emperor Hercules, he then asked the people in his kingdom, does anybody belong to the land or to the people of this so-called prophet? And they said, yes, we have people who belong to him. So he then said, bring them to me so I may ask them.
قال فقال لهم هلموا بهم إلي. قال أبو سفيان فجمعوني مع أصحابي وأدخلونا على هرقل.
And Abu Sufyan said that all of a sudden he and several people that came with him were gathered and they were brought forth in front of Hercules in his palace.
قال فوجه الخطاب وقال أنتم من قوم الرجل الذي يزعم أنه نبي؟ قال فقلنا له نعم.
And he said to them, are you from the people who claim that there's a prophet from amongst them? Are you from these people? And he said yes.
قال أيكم أقرب نسبا إلى هذا الرجل؟ قال أبو سفيان قلت أنا وكنت من أقرب الناس نسبا إليه.
And he then said, which amongst you are the closest to him in relations? He was the closest relative. To which Abu Sufyan then raised his hand and said, I am.
قال أبو سفيان فقال لي تقدم إلى بين يدي واجعل أصحابك خلفك. قال فصف أصحابي خلفي وقدمني بين يدي.
And he said, Hercules then told him, come forward and let your friends stay behind you, but you come in front of me.
قال أبو سفيان ثم دعا بترجمانه وقال لترجمانه قل لهم.
And he then, Hercules called his interpreters and he told his interpreters to tell them what he was about to say.
إني سائل هذا الرجل عن هذا الرجل الذي يزعم أنه نبي، فإن صدق فصدقوه وإن كذب فكذبوه، أي أشيروا إلى أنه كذب. يعني أبو سفيان قدم وقال له هرقل أن يقول لترجمان يقول لهم أنا سأسأل هذا الرجل عن هذا الذي يزعم أنه نبي، فإن صدق فصدقوه وإن كذب فأشيروا إلى أنه كذب لأنه خلفه.
And he then told, he said to Abu Sufyan through his interpreters, he said that, and he said to them, the people behind him, that if he's telling the truth, I'm going to ask him a question. If he tells the truth, you behind, say yes. And if he's telling a lie, make sure that you tell me that he's telling a lie.
قال أبو سفيان ويم الله حلف بالله ويم الله لولا أن يؤثروا علي كذبا لكذبت عليه.
And Abu Sufyan then said that he then found it very difficult. He swore, he made an oath by Allah that if he could lie, he would lie, but then he realized he couldn't.
لكن أبا سفيان ترك الكذب في تلك اللحظة لأنه خاف أن تمسك عليه كذبة من قبل أصحابه.
And then he left the lies that he could have perhaps made because he knew that his friends behind him would clarify to the emperor the truth of the matter.
فبدأ هرقل يوجه الأسئلة إلى أبي سفيان، وكان أول سؤال وجهه إليه فقال له كيف نسب الرجل فيكم؟ قال له أبو سفيان هو فينا دون سب.
And the first question that Hercules asked Abu Sufyan was, tell us about his lineage. And to which Abu Sufyan said he comes from a good, noble lineage, good family.
قال له هل من آبائه ملك؟ قال له أبو سفيان لا.
And he asked Abu Sufyan, are any of his relatives kings that have a kingdom? And Abu Sufyan said no.
قال له هل قال بهذه المقالة أحد قبله؟ قال له أبو سفيان لا.
And he said, Abu Sufyan, has anybody before him ever said these type of words? To which Abu Sufyan said no.
قال له فهل كنتم تتهمونه بالكذب قبل أن يقول مقالته هذا؟ يعني قبل أن يزعم بالرسالة هل كان تعرفون أنه يكذب؟
And he then said to him, his next question, were you aware that he lied? Would he ever lie? Was he known to lie before saying the things that he ever said? And Abu Sufyan said no.
قال له أبو سفيان لا. قال له فأتباع أشراف الناس يتبعونه أم ضعفائهم؟ قال بل ضعفائهم.
And he then asked Abu Sufyan, do the noble people follow him or the weak people follow him? To which Abu Sufyan admitted that the weak are the ones who follow him.
قال هل يزيدون أو ينقصون؟ قال بل يزيدون.
And he asked, does his numbers, the people that follow him, increase or decrease? And Abu Sufyan owned up and said, no, they increase in number.
قال هل يرتد أحد منهم بعد أن يدخل دينه سخطة له؟ قال لا.
And then he said, do any of them leave Islam? Leave Islam after becoming Muslim? Any of them leave Islam? And he said, no.
قال له هل قاتلتموه؟ قال له نعم.
And he said, he asked Abu Sufyan, have you fought him in combat, in battle? And he said, yes.
قال له كيف الحرب بينكم وبينه؟ قال الحرب بيننا وبينه سجال ننال منه وينال منا.
And he said that, how do you find that in combat, in battle, fighting with him? And he said that it's sijal, which means that one day for him or one day for us.
قال له فهل يغدر؟ قال له لا.
يغدر. And he said, does he betray? Does he betray people? And he said no.
قال له فليغدر؟ قال لا. ونحن منه على مدة لا ندري ما هو صانع فيها. قال أبو سفيان هذه الجملة التي قدرت أن أدخلها في الكلام. أي أشكك في قضية هل سيثبت على العهد ولا ما يثبت.
And then Abu Sufyan then said that we're in doubt over this situation. And then he then said, Hercules said, this is the information that I wanted to understand from you to see if you're going to shake or not.
قال له بماذا يأمركم؟
What does he call you to?
قال يأمرنا بالصلاة والصدقة والعفاف والإيمان بالله.
He said he calls us to salah, prayer, al-ifah, being chaste, sadaqah, charity, and belief in Allah Azza wa Jalla.
قال لترجمانه قل له.
And then he told his translators to tell him,
إني سألتك عن حسب هذا الرجل فقلت لي هو ذو حسب وكذلك الرسل تبعث في أحساب قومه.
And he told his translator to tell him that the first question I asked you about his family, and you said he comes from a good family, and he said the prophets, they come from family lineage that are high.
وسألتك هل من آبائه ملك؟ فقلت لا. فقلت في نفسي لو كان من آبائه ملك لقلت رجل يطلب ملك آبائه.
And he said, the next question, is he, any of his relatives have a kingdom or a king? To which your reply was no. To which he then realized that had he had a relative that was a king before, he would be just chasing after power and wealth and the kingdom of his forefathers.
وسألتك هل قال مقالته التي قالها أحد قبله عندكم؟ فقلت لا. فقلت لو كان أحد قد قالها قبله لقلت رجل يحتذي حذو من كان قبله.
And he said, has anybody ever said the words that he has said before? And you replied, no, no one's ever said these things before. To which I realized that he is not using words or ideas that have been previously said before.
وسألتك هل كنتم تتهمونه بالكذب قبل أن يقول مقالته هذه؟ فقلت لا. فقلت في نفسي ما كان ليترك الكذب على الناس 40 سنة ثم يكذب بعد 40 على الله عز وجل.
And the next question he said to him was he known for ever lying to the people? Was he known to be a liar? To which he replied, no, he is not. He's a truthful person. To which he then said to himself, how can a man who has not lied for 40 years against the people, then for the next remaining part of his life, lie against Allah?
وسألتك أشراف الناس يتبعونهم ضعفاءهم فقلت ضعفاءهم وهم أتباع الرسل.
And I asked you about the people that follow him. Are they the weak or those of power, those of a high position in society? To which you replied that the weak ones follow. To which I realized then that this is a prophet, because the weak are the ones who follow the prophet.
وسألتك هل يزيدون أو ينقصون فقلت يزيدون وكذلك الإيمان حتى يتم.
And I asked you about does the numbers increase or decrease? To which you then replied, yes, his numbers increase. And I said that is Iman, faith will increase until it's complete.
وسألتك هل يرتد أحد منهم عن دينه سخطة له بعد أن يدخله فقلت لا وكذلك الإيمان إذا خالط بشاشة القلوب.
And he said then to the next question, does anybody leave his religion? And he then said no. To which I then realized that this is how Iman, faith, when it mixes in with the pure hearts, people become then firm on their faith.
وسألتك هل يغدر فقلت لا وكذلك الأنبياء لا تغدر.
And then I asked you the question, are they treacherous? Do they deceive? To which you then said no. To which I then said that to myself that prophets are not people who are treacherous.
وسألتك بما يأمركم فقلت يأمرنا بالصلاة والصدقة والعفاف والإيمان.
And I asked you about what does he call you to, and you said he called you to prayer, al-ifaf, chasteness, and sadaqah, and belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
يا هذا إن كان ما قلت في هذا الرجل حقا فإنه نبي.
And he said to him, finally, the emperor Hercules then said to him that